It's time for our first 2025 update. What has been happening in Solano County and what can we expect as we head into the spring market? I've got everything here. Let's get started. Hey there, welcome back to my channel. I'm Erica Monroe. I'm a realtor in the Bay Area and I specialize in Solano County. I help buyers and sellers accomplish their real estate goals. If you live out of my area, I'd be happy to help interview and find the perfect agent to help you as well. Well, 2025 has certainly started off with a lot of change in our country and a lot of uncertainty in our economy. However, February showed that buyers are coming off of the sidelines and the spring market is starting to warm up. Part of the reason may be that interest rates have slowly started to come down. According to Zillow data, the national average for a 30-year fixed conventional loan is at 6.27%. Now that sounds a lot better than hovering around the 7% marker where we've been the last few months. So the big question is, should you jump now and take advantage of this lower interest rate, or is it possible that they'll continue to come down? As of right now, it appears most economists are not projecting for a huge decline in rates. National Association of Realtors is projecting that rates will stabilize right around 6% for both 2025 and 2026. Fannie Mae and the National Association of Home Builders are both projecting for about 6.5% by the end of the year. That being said, nobody knows for certain where rates are going to be by the end of the year. There are so many factors that increase or decrease interest rates, things like inflation, so truly only time will tell. But my advice would be, if you feel comfortable with today's rate and you find a great house, then now is the time to buy. Because remember, when interest rates fall, usually that means more competition, more buyers are entering into the market, driving up those price points. You may get a worse deal. You may have to pay more money later on, even though rates are a little softer. So how much are homes costing in Solano County? Well, in February, the median sold price point in Solano was right around $585,000. Now there's a little caveat here because this includes some but not all new construction sales. In fact, most new construction sales are not actually recorded in the MLS. Therefore, they're not a part of this median sold price. This is more appropriate for a resale home, generally around 17 to 1800 square feet, built sometime around the 1980s, perhaps the 1990s. With new construction, as you know, most of the time your square footage is significantly larger. You have new finishes, new everything, so your price points will be significantly higher than this median sold price. Just something to keep in mind if you are considering purchasing a new construction home. Benicia, as I mentioned, had the most expensive sales. The median sold price was right around $858,000. They also had the fewest amount of transactions. So with supply and demand, that of course keeps the price points high. Truly the least expensive city would be Sassoon at $585,000 median sold price. You had a price per square foot right around $322, which means that you're getting a larger home for a smaller price point. Now, houses all across Solano County on average got into contract within the first 30 days. So that should signal to you that our market is in fact heating up. Spring may be here sooner than you anticipated. Now, how do we use this data to position you to be a successful buyer? Well, you should know that if a house comes on market, it's been listed for less than 30 days, then you're unlikely to be able to leverage a lot of requests from the seller, such as lowering the price point or asking for significant credits. You also may not want to sit on the sidelines to see if the house is going to have a price reduction, because chances are in that first 30 days, there's going to be a willing and able buyer that makes a great offer on the home. Now, if a house is on market for more than 30 days, of course, you may have a little more negotiating room to ask the seller to reduce the price, to give seller credits, possibly a combination of both. But just keep in mind that there are other buyers entering into the market as well. So we may have a little more competition to contend with. Now, sellers, showcasing your house to the best of your ability is still so important because buyers are dealing with high price points. They're still dealing with high interest rates, and now there's more inventory for them to choose from. So one way to make sure that your house really shows beautifully is staging. Yes, it's an investment, but you'll almost certainly see a return on your investment by having shorter days on market and increasing the perceived value of your home, hopefully getting you strong offers. I have a great example of this. One of my colleagues just listed a house in Fairfield. She made sure that the seller decluttered, they staged the home, they priced it well, it showed really beautifully. Within 3 days, they got into contract with an over asking offer. Now, a few doors down, another house was on market. This house was actually a little bit larger. It was not staged. It did not show that well. It's finally in contract after about 30 days, and they are in contract for significantly less. So it's not to say that staging's absolutely going to drive up the price point, but it's certainly going to position you to receive the best possible offer. Staging is not just about making it pretty, it also showcases the potential in your home and helps buyers understand how to best utilize the space. Now, new construction up until recently was offering really strong incentives, and though some of those incentives are still in play, we are starting to see them soften, and that's likely because there's been peak interest by buyers. Some builders are also completing homes as move-in ready before they sell, and that can help eliminate some of the uncertainty in timing for buyers, but it also means that you're likely not going to be able to select your own finishes. Lastly, and I've mentioned this before, but it's absolutely worth reiterating, when you get into contract, right away, make sure you get 2 or 3 different homeowners insurance quotes because they can vary wildly. You also want to make sure you understand their terms and what's going to be required before they agree to insure the house. We've seen a recent trend where some insurance companies are sending their own inspectors out or flying drones over the house, and they'll send you a task list of items that need to be accomplished before they agree to insure the home. You want to make sure you have time to discuss that with the seller or find time to find a different insurance quote. Make sure you do this in advance. You don't want to wait until you're in the second week of contract because your time limits and protections are ticking quickly, and you want to make sure there's ample time to solve a problem if there is one. Thanks so much for watching. As always, if you have additional questions, feel free to leave a comment below or reach out to me at monroe.erica@gmail.com.